Are you looking for some modern inspiration? Do you need some bold, fresh, colorful new fabrics to pour over for your next project? Well, today's guest has a new fabric line called 5 and 10 with Wyndham fabrics and all kinds of patterns and inspiration to go with it. Stay tuned for my interview with famous modern quilter Denyse Schmidt. Welcome to the Quilter on Fire podcast. When modern quilting kind of began, it started off with the definition as being known as utilitarian quilts for the modern day quilter. And although that's evolved over time, what is it that is your real love about modern? Why are you, known for that? And why is that your aesthetic?
Well, I didn't set out saying I was going to be the modern quilter. After I graduated from RISD and I did graphic design for a while, I got bored and I was looking for something else to do, and that was more uniquely my own. And this idea to do quilts, I had friends who were exhibiting at a trade show in New York, this contemporary home furnishing show, and I had kind of fallen in love with quilting at that point. It was a few years after I graduated. And I had this idea. I loved old quilts. I loved, and it was in fact a catalog from an exhibit at the Whitney, which is now they've pulled all those quilts together, and it's at the it's in Nebraska. It was Jonathan Holstein and his wife at the time. They had collected all these quilts. They knew nothing about quilts, from what I understand, but they were art people. And they had been collecting quilts at flea markets and yard sales that to them looked like modern painters, Amish bar quilts. And most of them were anonymously made. They didn't care if they were well made. Mm-hmm. So I think because when they brought all of these quilts together, they were unique in terms of what had been published up until that time, because they weren't, everything wasn't perfectly aligned and matching. They were very, some of them were very quirky, but really beautiful and striking, and very much like a modern painting, but they were better even because they were fabric.
Yeah, they were textural, yeah.
And so they had this history to them. And unfortunately, some of the makers aren't known. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could go out to see that exhibition in person, because that exhibition catalog informed so much of, is the thing that made me start quilting, and it informed my aesthetic, I think, so much in terms of quilting. So my idea was to make quilts that kind of referenced that aesthetic. Everything doesn't have to line up. It looks like it might be old, but maybe it's new, that kind of thing. Like I wanted it to be a little bit like, is it old? Is it new? Is this made by somebody professional, or is it something that somebody found at a flea market somewhere?
If you head on over to the Quilter on Fire YouTube channel to watch the podcast trailer, you'll see what I'm wearing. Sass Boutique is dressing me in style for the podcast trailers. This light summer indigo dyed shirt is a Susan Lopetegui design. It's so light and fresh, and you can order it from her store, Sass Boutique. In Summerland and Penticton, BC, you can pick up the phone and call 250-494-1677 to order any of the clothing you see me wearing on this show. Sass Boutique, an excellent selection of contemporary and classic women's boutique style clothing. Did you like this trailer? Hit that subscribe button to get the new podcast trailer every week, and click on the link in the description below to listen to the full podcast.